It was March 8, 2014. Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370, a Boeing 777, sat shiny and bright under the lights at Kuala Lumpur International Airport. It was getting ready to fly to Beijing, China, with 239 people on board. People from all over the world, excited for a new day. At 12:41 a.m. local time, the plane took off, starting what seemed like a regular trip. The sky was clear, the weather was calm, perfect for a long flight. No one knew this normal takeoff would soon become one of the biggest mysteries in aviation history. The beginning of the flight was normal. MH370 flew at 35,000 feet, talking regularly with air traffic control. Passengers sat in their seats, some reading, some sleeping, maybe dreaming of their destination. Everything was going as planned, like a silent promise of a safer ride. The first 39 minutes were so normal, it's hard to believe what happened next. Those few normal moments would make the mystery of MH370's disappearance even more chilling. As MH370 got close to Vietnam, Malaysian air traffic control got ready to hand over communication to Ho Chi Minh City. At 1:19 a.m., the little dot of the plane, moving steadily on the radar screens, was about to enter Vietnamese airspace. Malaysian 370, contact Ho Chi Minh 120.9. Good night, the Malaysian air traffic controller said, expecting a normal reply, but the reply never came. A scary silence filled the control room as they tried again and again to contact MH370, but got no answer. Confusion turned to worry, then to panic. The plane seemed to vanish into thin air. Its transponder signal, the electronic heartbeat of a plane, was gone. It was like MH370 disappeared through a crack in the sky, leaving behind a confusing silence. The world watched, holding its breath, as the first shock turned into a flood of questions. Where was MH370? What happened in those quiet moments? The search for answers had begun, but it would be a long and hard one. The disappearance of MH370 started a huge search, covering a massive area of the Indian Ocean. Military planes and ships from many countries joined in, racing against time. At first, they searched the South China Sea, where the plane was last seen. But radar information showed something surprising. MH370 had turned sharply west and flown for hours southwest, far off its planned route. This moved the search thousands of miles away to the southeastern Indian Ocean, a remote and dangerous area. The huge search zone, the deep ocean, and the unpredictable weather made the search incredibly difficult. Weeks turned into months, and still no sign of the plane. The lack of floating debris, which usually happens in plane crashes, made the mystery even deeper. Section 4, A Sea of Theories. Every day without answers, the mystery of MH370 grew, and so did the theories. Some made sense, some were far-fetched, all showing how badly people wanted an explanation. One big theory was that the plane was hijacked. The sudden change in direction and the silence from the plane suggested someone took control. But no one claimed responsibility, and there was no clear reason or demand, so this seemed unlikely. Another theory was a sudden technical problem, maybe a loss of air pressure or an electrical fire that stopped the crew from flying and left the plane on autopilot until it ran out of fuel. This was possible, but there were no emergency signals from the plane. There were even theories about the pilot, secret missions, and even aliens. These caught people's attention, but there was no real proof. Without a clear answer, people kept guessing, leading to conspiracy theories and endless arguments. Section 5. Bits of hope, pieces of doubt. Years after MH370 vanished, some debris washed up on the shores of Reunion Island, Madagascar and Tanzania. This gave a small spark of hope. The debris wing parts, a flaperon and a piece of the inside cabin was carefully checked and confirmed to be from MH370. This was the first real proof that the plane had crashed in the Indian Ocean, but the location and condition of the debris didn't tell us where the rest of the plane was or what made it crash. Finding the debris confirmed what happened to the plane, but it didn't solve the mystery of why. The debris gave some closure to the families, but it also reminded them of the mystery that remained. It was a real connection to the people they lost, but it didn't explain what happened in the plane's final moments. Section 6, the human side of the mystery, Besides all the technical details and the dead ends, the disappearance of MH370 was a terrible human tragedy. The 239 passengers and crew weren't just names on a list. They were people with families, dreams, and futures that were suddenly taken away. The families of those on board suffered even more because they had no answers. They were stuck in a never-ending state of not knowing. The uncertainty made it impossible to move on, their lives forever changed by the missing plane. The years since have been a roller coaster of hope and sadness for the families. Every new clue, every piece of debris gave them hope, only to have it dashed by the lack of real answers. The world mourned with the families, sharing their sadness and frustration. The disappearance of MH370 showed how fragile life is and how unpredictable things can be, leaving a lasting impact on everyone. Section 7. A mystery that remains. The disappearance of MH370 is still one of the most confusing mysteries we have. Even with huge search efforts, advanced technology, and countless hours of investigation, we still don't know what happened to the plane and the people on board. The lack of a clear answer has led to many theories, guesses, and arguments, but the truth is still out there, hidden somewhere in the deep Indian Ocean. The story of MH370 is bigger than just aviation. It reminds us of how little we know sometimes and how powerful nature can be. The mystery of the missing plane still fascinates, confuses, and haunts us. It shows how powerful the unknown can be. The search for answers might go on, but the disappearance of MH370 reminds us that life is precious and hope is important, even when facing a terrible loss.